Good? Okay. So, I introduce my time. My time is a privately owned boutique joined with online shopping. The entirety of this business is going to be sustainable, and that everything is upcycled from secondhand garments that I will get from sorting through bales from different clothing stores, like maybe get in contact with More for Less and hopefully I could sort through the bales before they get sent overseas to third world countries or like the landfill. Here at My Time, we create a style that meets our consumers' wants because it's their time to shine. With oversized and comfortable body positive and groovy fashion, we create garments that make you physically and emotionally feel good about yourself. So my target market is quite large. I would say it's between the ages of 18 to 80, although our focus is more so towards kind of roughly between 30s to 80s. Women that are empty nesters that finally have time to take care of themselves and are done like raising their kids or whatever, and they just no longer need to conform to society. So at My Time, we make comfort look good. So the types of products that we're going to be selling here are just, like I said, very comfortable and loosely fit garments, because we understand the difficulty of shopping after like having children. Like for example, at times it's frustrating keeping up with a fit body, shape, and slim waistline. Therefore, we make it easy to shop by producing flowy and comfortable yet stylish garments that make you feel confident in your body. So I got 2 garments from just my closet that I would like take apart and redesign. So the first one is this kind of flowy skirt, whatever, and there's the flat on the side there, so the simple elastic waistband. And then the second garment is just a basic t-shirt here, and there's the flat. So they both have the black, and then this has like a nude color in the middle. And then the redesign, and here's my illustration here. The redesign would be kind of like just an oversized t-shirt that can be mistaken for a dress, but it's not a dress, but it could be used as a dress as well, depending. And I would just pair it with like a simple, maybe stable garment like palazzo pants or something, just like a basic color. So my business plan to begin with, I would first intern at like any kind of small clothing company in Canada, because I would like to stay in Canada, and probably attend at Park Forum many times during this process of creating my entire business. I would mostly start with an online website actually, or like an Etsy account kind of thing, and firstly like get a CA number, and then trademark all my products. This is like before I would get ready to like sell anything online. So I would have my logo on every garment, and I would get labels for each garment, like the size label, the care label, and my company label. And then also I would have business cards. Mostly they'd probably be created on Vistaprint, so I could hand out for advertisement. And I would then, once I have all that together and my garments are ready to be sold, I would go to like flea markets or festivals, or maybe Park Shop or whatever, as well as online. Mostly online though, this is what I'm going to be starting with. And then through that we can the customers can pay through probably PayPal or e-transfer, haven't thought about that yet exactly. And then I would stick with one shipping company, so that a company that's like very trustworthy and reliable, that I can count on them to get my garments that we create to their safely to their new homes. And then I would, as I'm getting larger in my business, I would hire employees and definitely an accountant, because I'm not very good with the money stuff. And then for advertisement, like I said, I would have business cards that I would hand out, and social media like Instagram, Facebook, maybe Twitter, I'm not quite sure. And I said public radio there because maybe I would get the chance to write a jingle or something. And then my business plan after once I get starting to get bigger and stuff like that, I would not just have it online and go to like flea markets and stuff like that. I would open my own boutique in Charlottetown in PEI. That's my goal to end up. And then I would definitely have to think about the fixed costs like rent, utilities now. So I would raise my employee's salary as well as myself. That's money on the side for saving. Then I would think about the visual merchandising and mannequins and stuff like that, and I would change them during the seasons, definitely. And I would have different promotions and sales if I don't already online, related to different seasons like Christmas or something like that, or maybe birthday sales. And then for the people that purchase my clothes in store, I was thinking I could start off with paper bags and then get into using reusable cloth bags, and from that I'd probably be hiring a little bit more employees by that time, because I would use the scraps even from the secondhand garments to create those cloth bags. And then when I do get bigger too, this is like way in the future, but I would add staple garments, like not mixed fibers, but I would either create like 100% natural fibers, like 100% cotton or hemp or whatever, so that they are biodegradable, very earth friendly. So my SWOT analysis, for my strengths, I believe that the target market, because it's so large, that is a good strength. And when searching for secondhand clothes, they can be both woven and knit fabrics, because it's such a loosely fit style. They don't need to conform in like one, like just wovens or just knits. And staple garments, 100% natural fibers, is a pro as well, because they're environmentally friendly. And then garments that are upcycled are being saved from not, going back to kind of the landfill. And then the weaknesses I would say is the redesigning is kind of time consumptious, although not very, but it still takes a lot of time. And also not all women actually would like the style, like flowy oversized garments, but so that's a weakness as well. And then the outcomes, I would create fashionable clothes that women feel comfortable in physically. That's very key in our designing, and that can make them like emotionally feel good, physically, whatever. And this would also be an opportunity for my customers to kind of get educated and see how I'm reusing everything, and then hopefully it'll educate them to be sustainable shoppers. And then the threats would be large fast fashion companies. So this is the Morgan Factory is one of the companies that I've researched. I've actually found her, I think, last year, and she upcycles her garments as well. And she like, see here, this is just like a cardigan that she matched with a couple of fabrics just put on the slide here, the sides. She like sewed on the sides to make it kind of flowy, and I like that idea. It's like very hippie style, and it's very comfortable, but it still looks good, right? So she just said this here on her website. It says, "Fashion has always been a part of my life, from sewing on a plastic sewing machine at the age of 2 to drawing stick figures in elementary school. I was literally born this way. I feel I have a duty to help our planet by recycling fashion in a way that reduces our footprint and challenges or inspires others. I hope you enjoy my creations. Each one is free-minded and has a story of its own. And most importantly, thank you for helping me protect our earth." So I thought that was very cool. She's very well like us, and she does care about the environment, and she loves fashion too, so she incorporates that together. I did actually message her on Instagram and just asked her a couple further questions, and I was like, kind of asking her how she sustains her business and like financially or whatever, or what inspired her more so. I tried to get like deeper kind of answers, but it was still kind of surface stuff like on her website. So that was okay, but whatever, I tried. And then, so my future goals is basically to be successful in making a change in our world sustainably, but also to like not be overwhelmed with work and have that kind of take over my life. Like I need to have balance and time to spend with my family and friends, and time for myself to just like play my instruments still, sing and dance, and like have time to meditate by the ocean or whatever, you know. I need that balance in my life. So overall my future goal is to have a successful business enough that I can still have balance in my life. And then here's my references. Okay. Any questions? Comments?
I like your ideas. I think you thought them through pretty closely. I like one of the things that occurred to me when she said everything has a story. That's something that people actually really like. I remember a few years ago for a conference I went to, and made a whole bunch of sustainable scarves. It's when our program first started, and they were just made out of scraps of fabric, and some were vintage and some were not. And people were really intrigued to know the story of each scarf. They were like, well, is this vintage, and where did this come from? And it was like, oh yeah, that one came from, you know, like I rescued it from some lady down in the States, and this one's a piece from a wedding gown from a long time ago, and this one's a piece from, you know. And so I told them the stories of each of them, and thought that if I were to do something like this, or you are, then it might be kind of nice on the tag to tell the story of the garment, of, you know, where it came from. Sure. This is a piece of curtain, this is a curtain attached to something else. This is, you know, just to tell them a little bit, because it makes it more personal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it can be easier to educate them.
Yeah, and it helps to educate them, and helps them realize fabric is fabric.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
That's cool.
And it kind of makes them a part of the process.
Yeah, and then they can share it, and it's not just like, oh, this cool thing that was made from stuff. It's like, this is actually made from this, and this, right? And it helps them tell the story of your garments, which then makes it more interesting and more personable to other people, which is a really good advertising.
Yeah.
Marketing strategy.
Cool. So add that on my labels.
There's something about anthropomorphizing an inanimate object, like a piece of fabric, giving it a life, giving it a story, giving it a character, that then is not only good for your upselling, but it makes that one-of-a-kind piece even more significant to the purchaser, to the buyer.
Yeah, especially like I'm looking at the tags and thinking, especially if you make sure that that part's all handwritten, because then they know it's not just you know, like a standard thing, that, you know, like it's one of a kind, you know, all the rest of it is your printed, but then you have a space for made out of, and then you can list it handwritten, and then people are like, wow, that really is.
Maybe each piece gets a name. Maybe this top is Sarah.
Yeah.
Maybe this piece is Chantal. Maybe this piece is, they each have a name, almost like you know, give them a really unique identity.